Right, here we are with Samantha Riley, who's a little dynamo. She is joining me via Zoom, so we get to see each other and see her beautiful smiling face. And we're going to have a little chat for the 1 in a Million project. Hi, Sam. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So you've got a really busy day and you're heading up to the Gold Coast.
Yes.
Tell me what you're doing up there.
Going up for Pro Blogger. So for anyone that's going up to Pro Blogger, come say hi.
Oh, fantastic. It's huge, isn't it? And I've never made it to one. Have you been before?
Yeah, well, 2014. So, but I'm heading up there this year to make sure I'm on stage there next year. So I've just shared that with the world. That's why I'm going up.
Beautiful, putting it out there.
Absolutely.
So we had a chat last week when you interviewed me for your podcast. And it kind of dawned on us that we've known each other for a while and we've kind of seen each other at different stages of this amazing journey, but I've never actually heard the Sam Riley story. So
no way. Okay. All right. The Sam Riley story. I've been entrepreneurial for as long as I can remember. I used to sell little cakes when I was in like year 2 at school for money. So I've always had that business in me. I didn't finish high school. I actually walked out of a class in the middle of year 11 and just went, I'm out of here. It's like seriously just packed up my books and walked out of a class halfway through. Got married very young. I was only 17 when I got married, had my first child at 17, opened my first business at 19. So have not done anything by the book the whole way through. So the first business we opened back then when I was 19 was a dance studio. And within 12 months, we opened up our first retail store selling dancewear. So that was when I was in Adelaide. I owned those with my now ex-husband. And over the years, we did very well. We turned over our first million when we were in our early 20s. And that was off I'd never learnt business. So it was just, trial and error, just failing more than winning, but obviously did something right. And just happily did that for 18 years. And then that everything, you think success is like, you reach a goal and that's the end. And I think that the universe told me that taught me this, that there is no end. Because when I thought everything was going perfectly, we were making money, like life was grand, got divorced and lost the businesses. That was back in 2010. And it absolutely decimated me financially, my self-confidence. I hid away for a couple of years. I couldn't even bear to speak to people, couldn't bear to speak to myself. Then got up, moved to Sydney and started again, and now doing what I'm doing now, which is helping business owners to really embrace their personal brand and get themselves out into the world.
Nothing like a good divorce and total decimation to make you realise what you're made of, is there?
That was the very shortened version, like we discussed on your podcast, man. That story could go for hours, but we don't really want to hear it.
No, and it's not really that healthy to go all the way back there. Suffice to say that you learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't change it for anything. Like, it was tough and it was hard, and I've come out so much stronger, so much happier. It's opened up my life for all these other amazing things to happen. I've learned so much about myself. I believe I'm a much better person through all the, the personal development journey. It is what it is. And it's whether we choose to embrace, moving on and doing something better, or whether we choose to, sit in that mess and shitty mess. Yeah, can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the trick is not getting stuck there, right?
Absolutely.
And you're going to need some time to wallow and feel sorry for yourself, but then you kind of have to dust.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's okay to do that for a little while as well. It's just, do you choose to stay there, or do you choose to just be there for a bit and then go, right, come on, put your big girl's panties on and, let's keep going.
So I met you, before the divorce part.
Yes.
Or maybe just at the start.
I think it was.
And then you kind of disappeared for a little while, and then you popped up again, and you had gone to Sydney. And can I just say, you went blonde and you were looking awesome.
Thank you.
So was that a conscious part of I'm back, baby?
Yeah, probably. When you have really good self-confidence. It's okay to actually go, here I am. You know, when you're not feeling good about yourself, you do hide and you do those things. But now I'm just like, oh, yeah, here I am.
Yeah, you don't strike me as shy at all.
Yet, for anyone that, when I very first moved to Sydney and the people knew me at that stage when I was, it's funny, people actually thought that that's who I was, but it was such a short time in my life. And I think now they're like, what the hell happened? And everyone else is like, oh, she's back.
The Sam we used to know, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to just talk about what you do now and tell me that journey, because it is totally different to dance and owning a retail business and so on. So it's a whole new world. So do you want to run me through that journey and kind of what made you end up in this space and what's got you so fired up? Because you're doing great, and you know, you're really successful, you know what you're doing, you're super passionate about it. So there's obviously something there that's really clicked into place for you.
Yeah. So back in 2010 is where everything kind of fell apart. So at that time, as well as dancing, I was a personal trainer and very taking on lots of holistic lifestyle coaching, training, and started to pick up life coaching because I realized that it wasn't the people were coming to the gym, but it wasn't really the fitness, that, you know, there was something else. And I really delved into what was making them tick, why were they making those choices, and really went down that personal development journey. Opened up a health and wellness centre, and at the exact same time decided I need some help. I want to make this a lot bigger, you know, leverage the online platforms, so forth. So joined a business education community. And within being a month of being in that, I realised I actually wasn't that passionate about health and fitness that I thought I was. What I was really passionate about was the business. So I was all excited while I was opening the health and wellness centre. And as soon as the doors opened, I was like, this isn't actually what I wanted. And that was the defining moment where I went, it's actually the business behind the business that I enjoy, not the business itself, if that makes sense. So at that time, because I was getting websites up, my personal training clients turned into business coaching clients. It was so bizarre. And over the course of 3 months, pretty much half of my personal training clients turned into, I was coaching them in business. So I just went with it and just kind of went on a journey of trying anything and everything. So I didn't niche at that time. And then October last year, I launched a book, and it was The Heart of Entrepreneurship. And the reason I wrote it was because I felt that I'd not only had a lot to share, but I needed to cleanse a lot of what I'd been through in the course of that 5 years and put a lot of that stuff to rest. I think Elizabeth Gilbert says that, you know, your first book is actually about you. And it sounds a bit selfish, but it was so totally true. I needed to just put all of that to rest and put it all behind me. So I wrote the book, launched, took on a publicist in the States because I wanted to, you know, launch into the US market. And over the course of 60 interviews that I was doing over there on podcasts and radio and all sorts of things, I realized that the questions that I was being asked were all around personal branding, marketing, communication, and that's definitely my strength. So from writing the book, which was quite generalist about business, obviously my take on it and a bit of my personal journey and story, I used all of the information that I got from those interviews, and that's what I used to form my business of where it is now. So it's been interesting. So using I guess the goal there is use the feedback of what other people are giving you. But the people that are willing to pay for your services, take their feedback, not, you know, Uncle Joe at the barbecue. Don't worry about what he says.
Yeah, very good point. And I think that talking to your community, talking to your clients, talking to, you know, the people that see where your professional value lies and asking them questions, that's something so many people shy away from. And it's one of the most powerful things you can do, and it'll just save you so much time and heartache and lost money and opportunity.
And I think, you know, you said that a lot of people don't do it, and I think it's because they're scared of hearing maybe what they don't want to hear. But when you take the emotion out of that and go, thank you so much for giving me that information that is so valuable, you know, and it's totally turning that in that.
Cool. We had a little breaking up thing happening there.
Okay.
Settled. I think it's okay. It was only the last couple words, so it was fine. I wanted to ask you one more thing before I let you go. So I love your story, and I'm so glad I waited till I was recording to ask it, because, you know, it's just good to get it fresh. So what I'm hearing out of your story is really a story of reinventing yourself. And yes, you had that little, you know, wallowing period, and so have I, and, you know, that's perfectly
We're human,
normal.
but that's what happens.
But it's, and I think a lot of people, when they hear success stories and stories of reinvention, they think that there isn't that downtime and there isn't that sort of retreat period. So I just want to, you know, quite clearly say that's normal and that's human, and, you know, don't beat yourselves up, people. But what I hear from your story is really this: don't be afraid to reinvent yourself and go, I thought I wanted this, but oh shit, I actually want that. And it's okay to actually go to my personal training clients and say, hey, I can now help. I've realized this is my zone of genius and I can help you there. Because a lot of people think that when they make a change, they have to start all over again from scratch. They don't understand that they can take so many gifts with them. So
absolutely.
you want to just sum that up for me, because you've obviously done that.
Yeah, it was so perfect. And I think that the biggest thing around this is progress beats perfection. And I was just on the phone to my publicist only 10 minutes ago, and we were talking about this because her journey is very similar to mine, in that people think that you have to start off and get the website and do this and make it pretty and get a logo. And you know what? It's absolutely crap. What you need to do is get your services out there. I know people that are, you know, do six-figure businesses and they still don't have a website, because people don't care. And it's okay to change. We're entrepreneurs. We're able to move very quickly. It's not like corporates, you know, that's like a big cruise ship. It takes a long time to slow down the boat and turn it. We're so lucky. It's like we're in a speedboat. We can zip wherever we want, and it's okay to do it every single day. This didn't work. Like, put it out there. Don't get caught up in, it's not perfect, I'll get it up next week, because you'll hate it in 2 years anyway. So you may as well just get it out there now, get the feedback from the market, and that 2 years will happen a lot quicker. That's my take on it anyway.
Awesome. I love that. Progress beats perfection. I think that sums it up beautifully. So I'm going to thank you for your time. Thanks for being part of the 1 in a Million project. And you definitely are 1 in a million. You're probably 1 in a gazillion, actually.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Sam.